Beerus the Destroyer, as referred to in Dragon Ball Super, is seeking out the Super Saiyan God, and Dragon Ball Super Episode 3 continues as the English dub premieres yet again, showcasing Beerus looking for Goku, unknowing that it is Goku. Meanwhile, Bulma is trying to gather everyone for her birthday party, while the Elder Kai, Supreme Kai, and Northern Kai are trying to avoid Goku and encountering Beerus by all means due to the nature of what would happen if Goku encounters Beerus. What's going on, Dragon Ball Super fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super Episode 3 English dub review entitled Where Does the Dream Pick Up? Find the Super Saiyan God, in which leads to Dragon Ball Super Episode 4 English dub next week, and what was a very comedical episode, nothing much to look forward to, guys. Now, the episode follows with Beerus seeking out the Super Saiyan God, in which he has no idea who it is, what his name is, what his origin is, but we go back and we get to see how early on in the beginning, in which case was my favorite, how King Kai called out Goku for pretty much being a nuisance on his planet, not reviving him after having to wager his planet and his life after the incident with Cell. But even with that, we get to see how the Supreme Kai and Elder Kai are concerned about Beerus being awoken. They talk about how Goku is on one side of the universe while Beerus is on another, and it'll be a very bad incident if by some chance Goku were to cross paths with Beerus, which is why the Supreme Kai suggests that Goku avoids meeting Beerus by all costs, because if they were to meet, Goku would obviously love to challenge Beerus in a friendly competition, and that's something they want to avoid. And King Kai interrupts by saying Goku is on his planet and they're trying to keep him unaware of Beerus. He shows up, he's like, I hear you talking about me, and King Kai kind of flips the whole subject on him after he gets dropped in paint. But I just love how the Elder Kai mentions that Beerus is a bottle of chaos just ready to erupt, and I do believe that in the subbed version they spoke about how he destroyed 8.5 planets, and in the English dub they only spoke about how he destroyed 8, so the difference here is 8.5 and 8. But nevertheless, we see how Beerus learns about Goku, and I loved the overall tension with Beerus being in the water and Whis having to show him Goku. Even prior to that, the Oracle Fish. Now, here's one thing that kind of puzzled me after watching this, because I haven't really watched episodes 1, 2, 3, 4 in a very long time, and so on and so forth, because we've already seen this before. We've seen this in Battle of Gods, and we've seen this now, but I've always wondered as to what happened to the Oracle Fish. How come we don't see the Oracle Fish now? It's been 70 plus episodes, and you introduced this character just to throw it away. So it was what it was. He asked the Oracle Fish, and it's kind of funny because at first when Beerus was asking the Oracle Fish as to who the Super Saiyan God is, the Oracle Fish was kind of playing dumb. He didn't really know. And then what's funny is we said, hang in there, fishy, because things can get rough, and Beerus threatened to eat him or whatever. So instantly enough, he remembered and he spoke about a Super Saiyan God. And even prior to that, Beerus was talking about, you know, the Saiyans and Planet Vegeta, and he called King Vegeta an arrogant brute. Just the way Beerus came off, I truly enjoyed it. But again, I think the episode highlights for me King Kai and Master Roshi, and I'll get into Master Roshi a little later, but we see how Beerus talks about going ahead and clear out the cobwebs as he talks to Whis about the Super Saiyan God, and talks about Goku, and he learns about Goku, and then he learns about Earth, and he talks about, well, aren't those the dinosaurs with the attitude problems that I had to put down or whatever. So we see how Whis talks about how the technique of the Super Saiyan had been forgotten for many generations up until that point, until Goku confronted Frieza and beat Frieza, and since then Beerus took interest on that. They all packed up and they left later on during the episode. But even prior to that, we saw how 18 and Krillin were in the car and they were stuck in traffic, right? And then we see how, you know, Krillin talks about how it took 3 hours for 18 to do her hair and they're missing out bingo. And then later on, you know, Krillin suggests that they pack away the car and they fly off. But my question is, how come they didn't fly off from the beginning? You know, if you have the ability to fly, why are you going back to using a car that can fly for you? It just doesn't make any sense. And then along the way, we encounter, sadly enough, Yamcha. We encounter Puar, Tien, and everyone's trying to get to Bulma's birthday party because Bulma is hosting a birthday party. And the only 2 people that aren't there are, obviously enough, Goku and Vegeta. They're out there training. But what I love about this is how Gohan and everyone else get there, and Chi-Chi talks about and Gohan talk about how they're kind of afraid of being the first ones there. And Bulma spoke about how the panty hunters are already there, that being Oolong and Master Roshi. And this is why I love Master Roshi in this episode, because he kept feeding Oolong. He kept telling him to put more quarters into the machine that he was using so he can use the binoculars to stare at chicks. And it's pretty funny because as he's staring at these chicks, he catches a nosebleed. He stuffs up some paper up there to stop the nosebleed, and Oolong is trying to get a view, and we see how Roshi just completely herbs him out. So I love that so much. And I love, again, I think the primary focus for me, at least the primary highlight, was definitely King Kai for spazzing out on Goku, and Master Roshi for herbing out Oolong, and then getting shook out of his mind once he saw Chi-Chi in front of him, because once Master Roshi saw Chi-Chi, and Chi-Chi was there having to tell him, you know, don't you have any decency of staring at women and stuff, and then he fell back and his nose started bleeding again. So I definitely prefer this this episode, the English dub over the subtitle version. I just enjoyed this more. But however, I've also noticed, in my opinion, that as I'm watching these episodes seem to go by much faster than how you would watching the original Japanese version. And that's just me. I don't know how anyone else feels, but for me, whenever I'm watching this so far, right now, the third episode, it just goes by so quick. So I don't know if it's just me or not. Comment down below if you guys feel the same. And then as we transition forward, we see how Beerus talks to Whis about, you know, packing his lunch. And I believe the food was called Naba from like the 65th Nebula or whatever. And they pack the lunch and they go. And, you know, it strikes me how, you know, we see the Supreme Kai and we see how Elder Kai are talking about this, and they're talking about how they want peace in their generation. They don't want any conflict. But Beerus is a force of nature. He chooses to do what he wants. And then the Elder Kai said something that kind of didn't make any sense to me. He spoke about how the whole universe can be lost if Beerus decides to destroy, you know, what he wants to destroy. So how can the whole universe be lost if he's the god of destruction? What would he be the god of if he destroys his own universe? But overall, guys, in my opinion, this episode to me was relatively decent. I enjoyed it. I can't really say I have any problems with it. The highlight for me was King Kai and Master Roshi. You know, you're gonna have a couple of salt pepper haters out there that are gonna say, oh well, Beerus asked about black hair and you didn't mention that in your review, blah blah blah. You know, like certain people have certain things to nitpick, but this episode was enjoyable to me. Not everyone's gonna, you know, like the English dub for whatever reason. I think it was great. That's just my opinion. I didn't find anything wrong with the episode because it was a very slow-paced episode. There's nothing to look forward to here other than the fact that Beerus is coming to Earth, and that's something that we already know based on Battle of Gods, based on the original Japanese Super version when we saw him get to Earth and he fights Goku and whatnot. And my mind is still on the concept of the clown god of destruction, on the female Broly-looking character that's going to be appearing in the Universal Survival arc. So there's a lot of things that went down today that my mind is still pondering on. But overall, I definitely enjoyed this review. I would like to know down below what you guys thought of the voice acting. I want to know if ultimately enough for a third week, if you guys enjoyed the English dub or if you guys enjoyed the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Super, because there are people out there who prefer the Japanese version over the English version. Hell, there are even certain people out there that only prefer the manga over the anime as a whole. So I would like to know down below, guys, if you guys enjoyed the English dub for this episode or if you guys rather enjoyed the original Japanese version. Guys, post your comments down below. If you guys are Dragon Ball fans, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to this channel for more Dragon Ball news, information, updates, reviews, gameplays, and discussions. Guys, if you guys enjoyed the review, if you guys love Dragon Ball Super, make sure to go ahead and leave a like down below. Post your comments down below as well. I just think that if I have to add in a few closing statements, I have to say that, to me at least, the whole concept of the Super Saiyan God thing was just a giant missed opportunity. I felt as if, like, down the road they could have introduced that form, or at least marinated the form a little bit more and showcased it just a little bit more, because we know, we especially know that after this, once Beerus encounters Goku, once Beerus fights Goku in that particular form, that will be the last time we see that form, because we are already 70 episodes in, aside from the manga, where in the manga we get to see Goku use that form against Hit briefly. Other than that, we don't get to see the form at all. So after having to see Beerus talk about this Super Saiyan God, and even in the beginning of the episode, we see how he's stumbling upon his words. He's talking about super super spaghetti, super what is it again, Whis? And then he mocks Whis about his speed, which I thought was hilarious, because Whis stopped in his tracks and he told Beerus, I'll have you know, I am the fastest person in the universe. Because Beerus was wondering as to, like, why they're going so slow, and if that was me, I would not question anybody. I would just be like, all right, you can go at whatever pace you want. But yeah, it does strike me as a little odd to see that if Whis is the fastest person in the universe, it's like getting to Earth in about, what is it, 23, 26 minutes. You know, I just find that a little odd, especially if you're supposed to be the fastest in the universe. Like, how fast can you truly go? But overall, I felt as if the overall interaction between Beerus and Whis were great. I mean, we haven't seen, you know, the English portrayal of these two since Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and even the past 2 episodes. But even not counting the past 2 episodes, it's pretty cool to see how they're interacting. But post your comments down below, guys. Leave your thoughts down below as to what you guys thought of this episode. Thank you all for watching once again. Of course, if you guys have missed out my previous video on the new Gods of Destructions coming into Dragon Ball Super, check it out and let me know what you guys think. And to think that 70 plus episodes later, by the time we get into the exact same role that we're in now currently with our current Dragon Ball Super, I think it's going to be like 2018, like summer 2018 by the time we get into this, I believe. So we have a ways to go, guys. Thank you all for watching once again. I truly hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you guys are looking to watch Dragon Ball Super on Saturdays. It is on Toonami/Cartoon Network/Adult Swim. I have Spectrum, so it's on Spectrum channel 21. If you guys have Time Warner Cable, channel 61, you guys can go ahead and find it on there. You can also go to Toonami.com to look up your local listings as to where you guys can watch it at. Thank you all for watching once again. Tune in for more, and I'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, guys, and God bless. Peace.